All right, guys, it's Karen, and I am just messing around today in my craft room, the messy craft room, and I thought I would try to go live. It's been quite a while since I've been live, and uh, I used to use my phone to live stream with. I wonder if that will stay put. But I had a program that I used, and then I used OBS Studio with it and everything else. But it's been janky and wanky, wonky, and I have not dealt with it in quite a while, and I don't really care to. So, I don't care to bother with it right now. So, I thought I would try using my webcam, which isn't like the greatest quality, and I don't know if it's going to stay up here or not. I have it on my light right now overhead. Um, but I'm just going to be doing a bunch of stuff, and if nobody joins, that's cool. I'm just because I thought for a while I might try to. Oh, Tina's here. Hi, Tina. Can you see me and hear me? Okay. I'm trying to go live with my webcam instead of my old way of doing it. In fact, I haven't gone live straight off of YouTube in quite a while, and it was, years. And so it was weird how I had to to answer like, is this stream made for kids? And do you want this, that, and the other thing? And so, yeah, it was kind of strange. But I thought I would talk about what I'm working on today. There's a few things I need to do that I've been working on. Um, so I have this vintage Gregor here who is pretty beat up, and that's fine. I need to try to restring his arms, and I don't know if I'm going to do that. Get to that today. I am fairly confident, having watched a bunch of dolls rescued videos, having watched them restring their Sasha dolls. Um, yeah, he is really cute. I'm thinking of trimming his. It looks like his neck's caved in, and I'm not sure what's going on with his like neck hole. His head doesn't want to sit. It's really tight, but his legs, I don't know. I don't know if I need to restring. I know I need to for sure string his arms. And I think I'd like to take some length off of this wig I have for him. And I want to, but before I cut his hair, I want to try to make him a beanie. Um, I don't want to cut it a lot because he kind of looks like in this wig, he kind of looks like a blonde surfer boy or like a little grunge kid, like a little Colorado grungy kid. So I want to make him a beanie. I think that'll help. Um, but I'm not quite sure. So I might try that today. And I definitely want to. I'm working on these dungarees or these, what do you call them? They're not dungarees. Well, the book calls them dungarees. The book, The Doll's Dressmaker. Um, so I know there's a few of us who have that are friends on YouTube and Dolly friends that have this book, and a few of us who have Sasha's and Gregor's. Um, so I wanted to go ahead and talk about this. These are from this book, and they are pictured here in. Let me see if I can find the picture. Gregor is wearing them here in this picture on page 15. And when I looked, I originally thought, because I didn't read this book like a dummy before I started pulling stuff out of here. It's organized by size of dolls, and there's not really like instructions in here. They have descriptions about it, but again, I haven't read the whole thing, so because I just have been winging it. Anyway, so I first saw. You're fine, Ladybug. You don't need to pant. It's just raining outside. I first pulled this pattern, and I thought that it was in this first section here because it followed the picture. So I thought it was coming out. And this is for patterns for 11 and 14 to 15 inch dolls. And he's about 16 inches, I think. So anyway, I want to try to make this bunny suit for my baby Sasha, but Um, so I originally looked through here and I found the pattern for these quote unquote dungarees or overalls is what we call them. Right here. So I made those and they were really tight and short on him, but they fit. So then I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll just make some adjustments to it. And then I kept looking through the book and I got to this section over here. Wait, where is it? Is it here? Not there. Um, this is what happens when you use tissue paper as bookmarks. It's not very thick. Okay. Whoa, Gregor. Anyway, I found the same pattern over here somewhere for the 16 to 18-inch dolls. And I was like, oh, crap. Well, that's probably what I needed to do. Yeah, there they are there. So, yeah, overall. So then I was like, okay, so I made the first pair too small and too tight. So then I like did this whole thing where I like adjusted the pattern. It was fitting better, but I was like, then I found the 16-inch pattern, 16 to 18-inch pattern, which is, and I traced it out of the book, and that's this here. But then I was like, it didn't indicate what size the seam allowance was, and I was assuming it was like a quarter of an inch because most sewing patterns for dolls is like a default either of 1/4 inch, and then usually, I mean, it might go down to an eighth of an inch, but usually it's quarter of an inch. But then I read at the beginning, so then I was like looking because I'm looking for the straps. There's like no strap pattern for this anywhere. I have to look again to double check it. But then it was like under the how to use this book section, it said um, how to use the patterns. All patterns in the book are drawn full size and include a 1/2 inch seam allowance on all pieces. Okay, so then I was like, all right. Um so then I made this and I put a 1/2 inch seam around everything so that I knew, and then I wrote on the pattern 1/2 inch seam included, and then I cut out my fabric here and I sewed it up on the back and front seams with a 1/2 inch, and it didn't work. It fit, but it was still tight. But it was long enough now. Like, so I didn't have to, because when I tried the smaller version, even though it fit here, it was like really short here, and then he had like high waters on his ankles, and I was like, that's no good. So then when I sewed this, the bigger size with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, it fit lengthwise and around his middle, like, but it was like still just too tight for my taste. And I was like, all right, so I ripped those seams out and I sewed it up at a quarter of an inch. So all of that is to say that if you have this book and you are going to try to make the overalls for Sasha slash Gregor, you will need to use, or I suggest you go ahead and use a regular quarter of an inch seam allowance, even though it says 1/2 inch. So so now what I need to do is I need to mark that on this at some point. But now I need to um, turn and hem the top around. And I either need to get either should have made a facing, or I need to get some kind of a bias tape or something else. So, um, and I went ahead and I finished all of the seams with a zigzag stitch on the inside here. I don't know if you can see it very well with I don't know if that'll focus um, with my crappy web camera. And of course, I picked a thread that almost matches. Um, so yes. So what I need to do now is I need to decide. First, I need to find something to bind up the edges. I'm thinking bias tape so that I can then just fold it, like sew it at a quarter of an inch and fold it back and tack it down. But I'm not sure. And then I have to make some kind of straps. And I'm not sure if there's like a straps pattern in this book somewhere because it wasn't with the dungarees. And um, how to put it right. So it's got some troubleshooting. Sewing tips, stock lists. No longer in business. Okay. And then a bibliography. No appendix where you can find things like straps or whatever. So, I mean, I can make straps. It's not a problem. But that means I'm going to have to take measure and stuff. How annoying is that? Who the heck wants to do that? And the picture, in the picture of our boy on page 15, he has, where is he? Page 15. That's why. Okay, so he has buttons. Thanks, Tina. Thanks for saying it. This looking good so far. So this I can see it's hemmed at 1/4 of an inch here. And he's got some kind of buttons. So I need to find, I would actually like to make a pair of these and actually try making buttonholes. I haven't done that yet. I've hand sewed, um, I have hand sewed, what do you call them, moms? What do you call them? Those things where oh, it sucks getting old. When you're lacing up, when you're doing eyelets, I have hand sewed eyelets. So I could hand sew the buttonholes because I would just use the same stitch. But I believe I have a button foot for my sewing machine somewhere around here. So I was considering, yeah, let me look here. I think I have the bag in my, I think there is a sewing foot. This looks like the sewing foot. Thank you, Tina. Yeah, I'm hoping it'll be cute. This looks like a sewing foot attachment, but it looks like it's just going to clip to my, I haven't used this on this machine, so it's not like an actual foot. It looks like I would clip this to the foot somehow. Okay, so this is the foot here, and then this, I don't know if you can see this. I think you put the button in here. So again, I've only seen this done. I haven't tried it myself. You put the button in here so it knows how big. That just seems janky as heck. I don't know. There's got to be. I got to read the instructions. I'll have to find the instructions online and read it. But anyway, I was thinking of that, but I'm not going to. I should have, if I was going to do that, then I probably should have not sewn up the back seam yet, so that this was still flat, and I should turn it over and then put the buttonholes on it. So I'm not. That's a little advanced for me at the moment, and I need to practice first. So what I'm thinking of doing is finding some buttons, sewing them on the top, and then using snaps to attach it on the inside. So I need to find buttons that will match, and then I need to, yeah. See, here's one of my earlier discarded attempts. The smallest one that I tried, it didn't work out. So I think over here in this pile of crap, yeah, let's see what I have in here. It's just everything is piles of crap. Okay. I bought this at a craft fair. This is a basket made out of corded fabric. I love this. I wish I knew how to make this. It's so cool. I bought this so many years ago. I don't think, oh crap, something fell down back there and it's going to be lost forever. I don't think it has, I think it's just the coiled rope that's just tied together. There's like no like stiff, it's not, there's no cardboard or anything. The rope itself becomes the basket. And I just think it's so cool. So I have buttons in here. So at first we need to pick out some buttons, and then, oh, hey, Marna and Donna, how are you guys? I'm experimenting just going live with my, just with a webcam, because so it's not as like professional as I used to do it, but I'm working on um, these Gregor overalls out of this book here. And long story short, you're working on a wig. Are you actually making the wig yourself, or are you just like styling a wig, Marna? Um, Long story short, if you're going to use this book to make the overall / dungarees pattern that is in this book for your Gregor or Sasha doll, Make sure you pick the one that is the larger one for the 16 to 18-inch dolls and ignore what they say about using a half an inch seam allowance. Go ahead and use, this is my advice, I would try first using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Because when I made it, they say that everything in this book is has a half-inch seam allowance included. And I originally drew that on the pattern when I traced it. I'm going to make a note not to do that because I felt it was too tight. So I went ahead and picked my seams out and re-sewed it with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I feel like it's looking good at that size. So that's, if you make this pattern, try it at a 1/4 inch, not at a half-inch pattern. Um, so I need to find or make some bias tape to hem the edges. And I was pulling out this basket because I need to pick two. I need to pick out two buttons for the front of this bad boy. So let's just go crazy here. I know, dogs. It's so sad you're in your crate, but your sister is gonna run amok if I let you out for now because of the weather. I have more buttons flying around, but this must be the girl that I bought the basket from all those years ago here in town at a local craft fair. Although, was it here? Because I don't recognize that area code. Anyway, whatever. You guys don't care about that. Some really ancient hooks. Nice, nice. So I just need to find two appropriately sized buttons. Wait, that's the small. Those are all the discards and then yeah. So let's see what you guys are saying. Donna thinks she has that book and has never used the patterns in it. It's a great book and the patterns are really cute. But I think the problem with it is it's not a problem per se, but because it's made for a range of dolls, there is wiggle. You'll have to like put the basic pattern together, like make a mock-up with the basic pattern, and then you might have to tweak to fit your doll. So working on making a wig, but it is an easy one, does not have to be fancy. Are you sewing it? Are you sewing that wig, Marna? Because I am so kind of obsessed with making wigs right now, even though it hurts me. Um, yes, I love button containers, and every time I go to a thrift store or an antique store and I see one, I'm very, very tempted every single time. But they've gotten expensive. They want a lot for them now. It's better to get them at it's better to get them at like a garage sale now, I think. So I think I have to consider that we're going to have a 1/4 inch turn over here. And I think that I I don't know how big that might be too big. Can you guys see? No, that thing's in the way. It's so hard. This might be too it's not bad. What do you guys think? That size? The other problem with this book is I don't think it has it doesn't have patterns for the straps for these dungarees, which is fine. They're not going to be that hard to make, I guess. But that's just annoying. Like I'm going to have to measure it. I was saying earlier on the doll. Um I have them sorted by colors. I get a lot of buttons. Oh, 30 pounds of buttons Donna has. Wow. And you've got them sorted by colors. That's a smart idea. Maybe if I ever clean up around here and I have room to get different jars, I can sort my buttons. Like I said, I don't have, this is too similar in color, right? Or what do you guys think of that? I mean, I'd have to find its match, but I'm thinking of just making a like you sewed the wig cap, but you were threading the filament in. Hmm. I mean, this could be okay, I guess. The other thing I have that I've had this for years and I haven't tried it, and I keep thinking about it. Oh shit! Oh my god! Oh, I just dumped an entire package of zip ties on the floor, open, and now they're all over the floor like pickup sticks. Do you guys remember pickup sticks? Oh man. These are the games that we played in the 70s before we had real TV on at all hours. Great, that's great. Yes, I'll pick up that later. But I have this thing. I have this contraption, and I want to use it, but every I don't know. It's sort of hurting my brain to think about it. It's a snap. It's a snappy thingy, and I have these colored snaps. And it has like little. It's sort of like making eyelets or grommets or whatever. But and it's got all these like different colored caps, and I love these on like vintage doll clothes. So it has these different snaps that you can try, and I think that this could be like this also could have been a cool option on I don't like it with the corduroy though, but I haven't actually tried this yet. Has anybody tried one of these snap gadgety things? Like my old Ginny dolls, not the Ginny, not the Ginny that's like the 1950s looking one, but the skinny Ginny from like the 70s. She has like covered snaps that are like this on her clothes, and I've always loved that look. And so, but you're kind of tearing. I think you're kind of tearing through the fabric, aren't you? So, anyway, I'm not brave enough to do this yet. I have to learn how to use it, and I'm gonna have to waste a couple snaps. And I would prefer, honestly, if I had this with like metal snaps, that would have been cool. But yeah, I don't have metal snaps, so um, you were getting the zip ties out for an American Girl neck, and you knocked them all over too. Yeah, yeah, that's. I'll have to remember to next time I do that, I'll have to put them when I pick them up. I'll have to remember to like put some tape on the plastic bag so that I don't do that again because that's going to be annoying. So I have so brown. That's ugly. It's too girly. My guy is not this Gregor's not into expressing himself. In he's just a boy, like masculine coded, I guess. So let's see. Snaps, the punch snaps, they do not work for me. Thank you, Tina. Thanks for being my first person to drop by and tell me that my stream was working. I really appreciate it. It's good to see you. I like this color a lot. I don't know if I have another one of these somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Again, if this this corduroy is pretty thick, I think it might also kill my hand if I tried to even. That's way too big. If I tried to punch through this, I think because I have problems. All right, I have these two. What do we think? Yay or nay? I was thinking of just doing like a white shirt underneath, and I'm going to do the pattern that's in the book. So this is possibility number one. It's kind of it's not totally red. It's like I don't know if you can see. It's like a marbled terracotta red, kind of like a dark terracotta marbled red. Might be. I don't know. I kind of like that, but and let's see. I mean, I could just try black, or this is kind of more of a navy-ish. I don't know. Yeah, punch snaps. So I don't know. Do they tear up the fabric, Marna, when you put them through? Because that's kind of a consideration. And I was talking earlier about the next time I make these, I would like to try my rust color. Yes, that's rust color. I would actually like to make these again because these are super simple to make, like ridiculous. They're fat. Other than trying now to make a strap pattern, they're super simple, way easier than a dress. So, but I want to try my buttonhole foot attachment on my machine. I've never used that to make a buttonhole ever. So that will be interesting. Those are way too big. White shirt. Yes. White or cream, whatever I have more of. Look at this fancy button. Don't you just love, I just love buttons. They're so cool. I mean, I just like sitting here. It must be like some kind of ADHD thing, but I even like just sitting here and sifting through them and like, we have like what's this? It seems like it's showing up blue, but it's kind of more of a Hold on, I gotta get my glasses off so I can actually see up close. It's like a it's not blue, it's like a off black. Oh, but I'm thinking I guess these are kind of all right. I mean, I'm thinking like either black, brown, or red, earthy colors. Punch them through the fabric. They never go straight on the punch straps. That might be. See, that's why I didn't want to just like do it on this because like what if I screw it up and then I'm like bitter, cuz my thing is ruined. So I'm thinking of I'm not going to make a buttonhole on this. I'm just going to put snaps behind here. You can't this thing is right in the way. So brown of course would be good, but that's too big. I am starting a mini sewing Donna is starting a mini sewing marathon for the dolls to see how much she can get made between now and when I go to bed tomorrow night. Wow. You're gonna stay up 24 hours? Is that what I'm understanding? Am I understanding that correctly? Yeah, this isn't a bad color here. Let's see if I can find the matching one to this. Oh, okay. So how many hours are you looking to put in a day on your mini marathon of sewing? Just see how much you can get made. For what dolls? What dolls are you gonna be sewing for? It's too big. We don't want that. So where is that? This is like more like a really God, I need to get new glasses so bad. This is like a really dark maroon. I like that one a lot. Let's see. There's that one. And that one. Now, if I can find mates to these, then I can make a decision. There's that one too. Nah, that's too big. Have you guys used your buttonhole foot on your machine? Is it easy or hard? If you have, what is your experience like that? With that? AG, Barbie, or regular Rainbow High? No projects, just sewing. I need to use 44 yards of fabric before I can buy more. You use yours all the time. Is it hard to use? That's green. Because mine is just like an attachment to the bottom of the foot, not like an actual like the whole foot with the shank and everything else that you have to put in. And so I got confused looking at it, but I hadn't read instructions yet. So I suppose if I read my instructions, I would be all right. But I'm trying to find the green actually kind of looks nice, doesn't it? Can you guys see? You can't see. Well, the green is looking even more green on camera than that green is really pretty. They're pretty buttons. There's a gorgeous American Girl black wig on eBay that I was looking at, Marna, because they want 36 bucks for it. But I was thinking, because I've got all these dolls I need to like I gotta repair and re-wig. And I was like, oh, then I was thinking, oh, I could maybe make a Wednesday out of this, but I'm not paying $36. It's not happening. I don't know. Yeah, wigs are really expensive. Put the foot on with the button in and press the button. A minute or so later, the perfect buttonholes. That's crazy. Yeah, I definitely am going to try it. I think I have some like chambray denim that I want to make overalls out of, and I think I'm going to try it. The thing is I'll need to just only sew up the front before I put the buttons in because can you guys see? Oh, sorry. I wonder if I can move this down without dropping my. Can you see better now? I forget to I filmed a whole ass video process of me sewing up those first pair of Gregor overalls and how I all kinds of information about, resizing and all this crap. And then I was like, I found the bigger pattern. And so then I didn't have the heart. I mean, I must have been an hour's worth of footage and then I didn't have the heart to edit it and put it together. So I was like, well, the hell with it. So but then I'm like, well, if I just go live, and I mean, the problem with going live is I don't have a schedule and I don't plan to because I'm a weirdo. So I don't mind if nobody shows up, but it's nice when friends are around and they drop in. B, my husband now works from home, so it's really hard for me to go live. And also in the summer, usually I have my fan going, but today it's only because it gets really hot in here, but it's only 65 degrees out and rainy today, so with no sun, so I'm able to get away with it. And then lastly, where is the other one of those buttons? But then and the other consideration is that unless you have a planned live event like Marna and Darren do, YouTube doesn't really promote them. So it's not something that gets a lot of rewatches. It's not like algorithm friendly, which is fine. I don't care. When I go live, it's only because I just like to sit down and like talk to people if they stop by while I'm doing stuff. I used to go live with my art all the time on my other YouTube channel, and just all my art friends would pop in when they were around, and it was fun. It wasn't. Am I just missing? All right, I think we're just gonna have to go with the because I'm getting annoyed here. So we're probably gonna have to just pick with the ones that I have two matches with, which is the red and the green, and the rest are just gonna have to wait till the next pair. So if the fabric is very lightweight, iron a bit of lightweight stabilizer on the back. It will help. When you're doing the button holes, Donna's been thinking about going live when you get the quilter running more. Okay, you guys like green? We're going with green. Yeah, it's like it looks really like emerald on camera, but it's actually more of like a fir tree green. It's a little more muted. So we'll do green. Yay, thank you. Um and I've now lost all my train of thought. I mean, yeah, so it's like if you go live and you don't plan it and you don't have like, announce it to your followers and stuff, then it's kind of a crapshoot if people are going to show up or not. And that's fine. But the only other reason I like doing it is because sometimes I film a lot of stuff and then I forget about it. Yeah, it is just fun to it's just fun to dig through the buttons, Marna. Oh my god. I'll have to dig through it again when I look for if his shirt has buttons. I don't know if it's calls for buttons or not. I'm going to take a look at the pattern really quickly um, again. And yeah, buttons have gotten pricey. And, I don't know why, because I don't really see like a lot of people actually using. I think people just like to, well, everything's gotten pricey. Who am I kidding? But I think people just like to have button jars on display because buttons are awesome. I don't know. I don't know how many people actually sew and use their buttons, but I know sewing is on the rise. I think all the handcrafts are on the rise again. People kept saying that knitting was dead and crochet, and I'm like, have you been on Ravelry? This is not this, and have you seen the like wool events that people go to? This is not a dead thing with young people, and more young women are picking it up again, especially during COVID. A lot of people got back into the handcrafts. It's something to do. Yes, less seamstresses now, so the need isn't as large. But I see a lot of younger people like Gen Z, the 20 somethings. A lot of them are really into thrifting, and they're really anti fast fashion. And so I follow a lot of sewists on YouTube and see a lot of reels and stuff. Like follow a lot of sewing content, and I've noticed that that's a new thing. There's a lot of people like thrifting and upcycling their clothing, so either totally not just altering it, but like transforming it, and trying to stay out of fast fashion, which I think is really cool. Um, Supply and demand has so much to do with it. Marna thinks people are not buying buttons like they used to, so the prices keep rising. That could be it too. Yes, yes. Of course, if you go on AliExpress, I'm sure you could get a few deals. So, I mean, I don't think their buttons have gotten it. I was on there this morning looking for like BJD 1/4 scale doll clothes for Tanner's stuff, and also 1/3 scale and Blythe. Who am I kidding? And and their prices have definitely gone up, but they are not. I think that's because they're including all the tariff nonsense. There's a freaking staple stuck in here, so let me get this out. Oh, you have so many button boxes. That's crazy, girl. Yes, do a video sorting through all your buttons. I'd love to watch that. It's very relaxing. It's like ASMR, button ASMR. Ah, no. Did I drop it? Oh, I got it. My table only has 3 legs. So oh, Lord help me. I have the leg, but to put it on, I need to take everything off of it, clear enough room under it to flip it over and reattach it. Or I could buy a new desk, which would be better, one that has 4 legs. So this one is like it's balanced on one side by a filing cabinet and then the other 3 legs. So it's not falling down any, but it's at a slight slope, so everything that I put on here slips off, which is really annoying, really annoying. So there's a rusty old staple in here. Now the other thing I need to figure out is uh what I'm going to use to turn the fabrics because I didn't line it. I mean, I could have, but I didn't because I was still trying to figure out. I wasn't about to cut out a lining and sew all that together if it wasn't going to work. So I need to like either make a bias strip or find my bias tapes, which I have a ton of them. I just don't know where they're all like lost in the shelves over here. Um, or I need to get some tool or something to be able to turn this over. Um, yeah, I like to when I'm like bed rotting at night, I like to watch sewing reels. Picked up so many techniques just by like laying there and like having all of the, shorts go through my phone and the reels it's just mindless and then I learn something and doom scrolling through reels. All right. So the question is, I don't want to cut bias tape off of this corduroy and use it because I think it's going to be really bulky. So I have a lot of this left. I'm like completely over it. I bought it for like a Blythe. I got like 2 or 3 yards of it because I think that was like the only amount I could get. And yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of over it. I don't love the color. I wish it was how you buy things online because we don't have Joann's anymore. And so the color isn't always what you see on your monitor, even if your monitor's well calibrated. Um, I thought it was a little bit of a richer brown and not such a golden brown. Let me switch my light color. All right. I've switched my light color to an amber instead of a like fluorescent. So if it was as rich as you're seeing on the screen now, I would be happier. It's just a little the color's just not perfect and but it's okay. And it's really close to Gregor's skin tone. I'm wondering why all the Sasha dolls seem to have like they're not like like white. They've got a nice like rich brown skin tone to them or rich beiges. And so this is a little close um, for me to his skin, but with the white shirt under it, it'll look good, right? And the other thing I want to do today, if I get to it, is I want to make a beanie for him. I don't want to knit it though. I mean, I could, but I have this. Rib knit, this blue rib knit, and I just kind of want to like. It's really really stretchy. She did that so everyone would feel included. Sasha Morgenthau. Have you gone to her like her museum website and seen her art dolls and like what she started with and I mean, man, she was cool. So so yeah, I'm thinking this is pretty thin, so I probably have to double it up. I was watching some videos this morning while I was drinking my caffeine and I could make a pattern and sew it up and put darts at the top, but I don't know. I wish like have you guys ever made those of you who knit and crochet, have you ever made like a beanie where you just like make a rectangle and then you sew up the back and then you just like cinch up the top? So I was thinking of doing something like that, um but yeah. So that might be more annoying than I want to do. But I do want to make him I think I think a beanie with this wig, I think it'll make him really cute. And I also need to Marna, now that I've got you here, I've asked this on one of your videos and I don't think I got an answer because you guys are so busy. When you are stringing Gregor and Sasha, not the babies, but these big ones. They're normal. They're the big ones, whatever. What gauge are you using? Because I need to do his arms, and I was thinking of tackling that today. But I only have the. Am I gonna lose this damn button? Where's the button? Oh no, it's here. I gotta do something with these before I lose them. You guys know I'm a disaster. Um, what gauge thickness are you using of the elastic for these guys? Because I have 4 millimeter, which for the American Girl dolls, and I don't know if that's going to be too small. So, are you guys using something a little thicker, or are you using the same stuff for the AG dolls? Where is that? Here is my elastic. No, it's right there. Sorry. I'm always hitting this thing. I got to get a better tripod set up too. So I have this. All right. Maybe we will just go ahead and here's my ADSD. I don't want to start. I'm like, I don't want to deal with looking for my bias tape. I bought a pack of yellow bias tape that I haven't even got into, and I was thinking that would be fine for this. Use what you have, and it's sort of in the same color family, but I can't find what the hell I did with it. So I don't really want to spend my time looking for that. So maybe we'll just try to do this right now. It might kill me though. It might kill me. We'll see. But I do have Advil now again. Uh-oh, I've done it now. I've done it now. Oh, it's gross in there. Look at that. Ew. Nasty. It's all rusted. What the hell did they do there? What is that? Can you see? All right, Gregor. Well, you don't need this in your life, so let's see if I can. I have wipes here, but gross. The frick. I'm trying. I don't want to touch it because I don't want to. There. I still kind of touched it, but I have wipes up here. I'll just wipe my hands. It's just rusty. It's not a big deal. He's dirty in there. I'm not going to bother it. I'm not bothering though. So this is this is going to be a. I don't have a Darren here to help me, Myrna. So this could go really wrong. I mean, I'm not afraid to try stringing his arms. I am afraid to redo his neck and his legs, though. I think that's going to be kind of scary. So let's try this. Ugh. Let's try this. Hi, Shauna. Yeah, I just kind of came on to see if I got the house to myself today. Next week, I'm going to have the house to myself for like my husband and my son are going to be out of town on business for like a week. And so I might try to hop on live again just while I'm screwing around in my office, I don't ever plan lives because I'm, I don't know. I just come on whenever I am up in the office and I'm doing something that people might be interested in watching or just because I cut off way too much. So, that's good. So, because the thing about lives is this, I've been on for 45 minutes now. And, I'm not going to get much engagement with this. And that's fine. Like, so if you care about like driving up your numbers, you got to do like what Marna and Darren do, which is, have a big audience and schedule your stuff. And I don't do that. I'm a willy-nilly girl. I come on when I just willy-nilly myself. I used to do a lot more lives than I do now. So yeah, I cut off way too much, but that's okay. That is okay. Because if I screw up, then I don't have to cut another length. I'll just cut some of this off and try again. I'm always afraid of burning the ends of things. And when I've ever tried to singe like satin or something to seal it, I go way overboard and I end up warping the fabric all to hell. So Oh, thanks, Donna. Um, there's other things I need to get, like some longer pliers. That would be helpful. Like, I just, I have like an ever growing supplies list of things that I'd like to get to help me. Why? How does Darren make this look so easy? Come on out, you. There we go. All right. So, from my recollection of Marna and Darren in their videos, I'm gonna keep one longer because I don't need all this slack. And then I loop the other one, right? Hey, you were already looped. You're ready for your arm, aren't you? Like this? No. Like this? How is this going to lay best? Let's see. Marna says not to clamp these down. Don't clamp your hook, she says. Right? Because then you could, well, when you're working with wire, this is something I always wonder. So I took metalsmithing and jewelry making in college. And I used to work with, and I also used to do jewelry making. So when you hammer on a wire, you're hardening it, you're work hardening it. So, and then when you want to soften metal, you heat it up with blowtorches and stuff. There was like this room in our college, in the metalsmithing department, where it was like all insulated with fireproof curtains, and there was like 3 torches back there that were hooked up to hoses, and we'd be like, it was really cool. A stray button just fell on the floor. Oh no. So, see how I get off track? I don't know what I was talking about. Oh, the other thing is though, if you bend a wire, if you're like me, and when I was making jewelry and selling it at art fairs and stuff, and you keep bending the wire because you're trying not to waste, but you keep screwing up your wrapping or whatever, and you keep undoing it, eventually that stuff snaps. It gets like brittle because you're work hardening it, and it gets brittle and it snaps, right? So I always wonder, like, what happens if this hook, I mean, so yeah, if you want to pinch it down, you shouldn't pinch it down because then you'll have to like turn it to get it. You're going to be weakening the hook trying to if you have to restring him. But then, like when people use, because I follow a lot of doll makers too, and when people use doll or make dolls with wire armatures and stuff, and they're posable. I'm like, well, what if that eventually won't that eventually break? This is not staying on. You're making me angry. Won't that eventually break off? And then what do you do? Um, So I'm always, especially with like aluminum wire. A lot of people use aluminum wire for armatures. I mean, I guess it's not a play doll, right? So those dolls you're not supposed to be like. Um, that might be okay. It's going to be better than when he had it before, I think. I can't tell because I have to make another knot, and this will go in there, but then I can't tell how. Oh, I see. And then the other thing always worry about is what happens if that. These are old dolls, and you're stringing them, and you got to pull them tight and everything. What happens if the plastic assembly part that they're attached to breaks, right? Like snaps off. Then what are you going to do? I mean, you're gonna have to make some kind of joint or something. Ugh. Marta says exactly. Marta agrees with me. All right, let's try to snip that close and see how well I did or how badly I did. This is why it's a good thing this is an old doll because I'm just brutalizing him up in here. So poor baby. All right. What do you think? You guys think it's going to be all right? I don't know. All right. I still have a good length to use for the next one. That's good. Let's put it back in the bag. Now these need to get tucked in there. Right? I triple. Let's see. Hopefully you won't come on. Well, if you come undone, well, ooh, that is pretty good. Oh, You found the pattern you were looking for, about to cut out some slacks. Donna found the pattern she's looking for. She's about to cut out Elwyn slacks out of corduroy. You have sage green and a coral. Nice, nice. I have this. You guys remember, or Donna, do you remember when I made that gray? Did you see the video where I made the gray outfit? I have made it in this same corduroy, the vest. And I'm realizing I should probably add, either I need to recut my pattern so it's a little bit tighter back here, or I need to, when I'm sewing it together, I need to put, when I'm sewing up these seams, I need to put some ribbon and a belt loop back here. So I was trying this on her again in corduroy, and yeah, I was figuring that out. I don't At some point I'm going to get this pattern. Once I figure out what I'm like, I'm going to make it a third time, and once I'm happy with it, I'll probably make it available. So I can't wait to see your corduroy trousers for Elowen, because, you know, how exciting is that? Do you have a specific, like, I've been obsessed with the Dark Academia theme they've been doing over there at the VDC. His arms just don't feel like they're fitting into his vinyl well. I mean, that's pretty good, right? He's holding his pose. That's way better than it was. But now I have to do his legs and his head, and I'm really afraid. Shauna, you think yes, a ribbon and belt loop would look so cute and more deal. Okay, cool. I will when I make it again, not out of corduroy, but a more sensible fabric, uh, sensible at doll scale, like, because this is thick corduroy, and it's hard to work with at the scale for me. I will try that out, but I have to get some. I think I have belt buckles, but I think they're Blythe size, so I need to get some bigger belt buckles that are Elowen sized. You have made your Elowen some yeah, I'm obsessed with it, but I don't know. I don't want to say this. I am loving everything that Robert Tonner has designed for this Dark Academia series. But like the last dress he came out with is so pretty. It's so pretty. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it on the red dress. But to me, it looks cottagecore, not Dark Academia. It's like 100% cottagecore to me, and which I love. And I would have loved to be able to get that that doll. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't see. I don't. To me, it's not. I think it's more. I don't know. Cottagecore is 100% reads cottagecore to me, which is also a favorite aesthetic. So I'm not mad at it. I just don't understand. He has a more. Let's just put it this way. Robert Tonner has a more expansive version or vision of Dark Academia than I do. And that when I was at the October Doll convention where he was, I had the dinner. I went to the dinner that he was speaking at. Um, and that's like once in a like 5-year event for me. I don't have that kind of money normally, but he did a presentation on Dark Academia, and he included a lot more color than I personally um would have. So, I that's just, and if you go on Pinterest and you look for Dark Academia, that that is more, again, Robert's vision of it is a little more colorful than what the traditional version of it is. Um, all right, so 2 things accomplished so far. I have found the buttons. I have restrung his arms. I think they're good enough. I'm not ready to tackle his neck and his legs yet. That's really scary. Shauna is struggling with bulky fabrics too. Um, oh, you emailed Marna for help. Marna was very helpful to me too when um I first started sewing with the machine. She was so generous with her knowledge. Donna needs to leave for a little bit, and I may or may not, but thank you so much for stopping by and chatting dolls. And God, that's going to be so much fun to see how much you get done over your marathon sewing event. So that's exciting. Um, let's see, it's 3 o'clock now. I'll probably I have groceries coming at some point. Let me see here. Oh, they haven't started shopping yet. All right, we're good still. Because my order is scheduled from 4 to 6, but it's not a large order though, so they might get it done in an hour and get to me. Thanks for stopping in, Donna. If I'm here when you come back, that would be great. Okay, you dropped a short on it explaining when I'll put up I'll watch that when I'm done, yeah. I will look for it. Totally will. Um, so okay, so focus, Karen, focus. I'm high on caffeine and ADHD meds right now. Let's see. There's another random ass button here. Oh God, typical Karen. Yeah. Okay, so I need to figure out, let's go back to the pants. So I'm gonna slide these on him. And I did not like I sewed it all the way up. It should be, yeah, I mean, I have these thank you, Shauna. I usually let my lives like replays play. But again, like I said, unless somebody's looking for it, they don't really but yeah, I'll have this up. So if you come back, you can see the rest of it, which is so nice of you to even to do. So this I do not have it closed in the back. That was the other reason I moved my seam allowance to a quarter of inch instead of the half inch called for in the book. I like that. I mean, I think overall should be a little bit roomy. You need to be able to move in them and work in them, and also get the shirts on underneath. So if I eliminate a quarter inch at the top, and there'll be a quarter inch on the sides and in the back. Um, the length is perfect with a quarter inch hem instead of a half inch. So I need to figure out how long the straps are going to be and how wide I want them. So, and if I cut them out, so I have to think this through. If I cut them out, I will have to zigzag all the edges so they don't fray. So I'll probably just fold over, like, I probably won't turn them inside out. I won't sew them closed and turn them. I will probably just like zigzag the edges and fold them because they should just lay flat. You shouldn't see the underside. So I will probably just fold over the edges, and then you'll need a quarter of an inch. Let's see, at least a quarter of an inch for the snap, maybe a half an inch on the bottom. What do you think? So let's see if we do a half inch on the bottom so that the snap can get sewn. So this will be turned under a quarter of an inch. And then a half an inch. And then and then sew this down in the back. I don't think I want them to be, do I want them to be long enough to be crisscrossed? Let's see. If I want them to be, then they will have to go, let's see if I do this straight and then crisscross it. So it's straight and crisscross it. I don't know. I mean, let's see. This long. Or do I just want them straight? If I just want them straight, so what is this? Probably about a half an inch wide. Where's our sewing gauge? Where is a ruler? This is just an offcut, so we'll see. Might be able to use this. No, this is longer than it. So I would want it to be a half an inch. So I'd want to cut it at a full inch. This is at like 3/4 of an inch right now ish. So I would want my fabric to be a full inch with a quarter inch turned over on either side. And then let's just measure this for shits and giggles because this is more generous than I need, but I love these quilting rulers because they're clear, but because they're clear and I have a dark desk, anything that's not a white background or a light colored background, it's really hard to see what you're looking at here. All right, so this line, it's about, so I want at least 8 inches of fabric, 8 by 1. So let's write that on here. So straps. Wait, this isn't my correct. This is my corrected one. This is not the correct one. This is not. This was when I was okay. My correct one is in the book, so we're just going to use this as scrap paper. So straps. We'll do it 8 by 1 1/4 seam. Yes, yes. We're gonna try that. Hard to hard to find. They are hard to find, Marna. I lose them all the time. Like I don't even know where I just. Oh, see, I can't even see it. Like I can't even see it on the desk. And so yes, I do lose them all the time. My T squares, my French curve rulers, all of them. Yes, I do. It's ridiculous. So all right, let's go 8 inches, and I'm just going to square off the bottom here. I think these would look really cute in denim. Um, so, all right, and then I really like, where is it? My pile of crap. Here we go. I like these sewing gauges for making straight edges when on small things, because I just use the straight edge that you. This is for counting your. If you don't know, this is for counting your knit and crochet stitches in here to see how many. It's tin or aluminum, so it's like gets bendy. But and this is a vintage one. I'd like to get some new ones. Um, but you can count how many stitches per inch you have when you've knitted up a sample of your fabric, which is cool. Um, yeah, I think denim. I think I'll be really. I think and the denim. Well, I mean, Sasha can wear this as well, right? It's unisex, so um, I think it'll be super cute. But and then I'm just going to try to square this. Okay, wait a minute. I need to catch an inch. Square this up and catch an inch here. Find an inch along here. Do you guys do you when you're measuring, do you make 3 marks or just 2 to find a line? I usually make 3 because I'm always wrong. I always screw it up. So, see, like I'm already kind of off, but that's all right. And cut this out and see if it's gonna work. You eyeball everything. I wish I would, Marna. I'm too much of a freak, and I'm too hard on myself, and then I get kind of crazy, as you know. So what I will do is I will cut this, and then I don't really. I could just zigzag the edge. I don't know. I don't know. How's your wig coming, Marna? 2 to 3. It depends on how you're feeling, how confident you are that day in your skills and your ruler skills. My ruler skills are not great. All right. I have cut myself so many times because I do this like awkward thing and then I nip myself right here all the freaking time. Stupid. I need to stop doing that. All right. So if I fold, so now I have generous, like probably too much, right? But if I wanted to crisscross it, this would be because I'm going to lose 1/4 of an inch. So maybe I don't need this much. So I want a 1/2 inch. You were trying it on as yeah, which is it for American Girl? So this is actually, I probably could go with 7. Wait. So if I take a 1/2 inch on the bottom, I take a half an inch on the bottom, and then I take a half an inch here, and I fold over. These are actually going to be thinner than see. My thumb is already hurting me from doing this. I could turn this thing out, but inside out. I could do this and turn it inside out, but I don't really feel like. So then it would meet in the middle, and this is how thick it's going to be. Okay. Don't want it as bulky as was in the picture from the book. Donna's back. Yay. I think it'll be all right. Let's fold these edges down and oh God, it just hurts. Just moaning, don't mind me. So I might not need the entire 8 inches, like 7 inches maybe. No. If I had an iron, I do have an iron. I keep saying if I had an iron. I have an iron. And I have an ironing board. I have a big ironing board and I have a small ironing board. But those are lost on the other side of the room over there under crap. So, and this desk with its 3 legs is a little bit too small for me to set up. I need to get one of those, either a small travel iron um, or I need to get a whatchamacallit, one of those little craft irons that have like they're on the skinny little wand with a little tiny head. Like I don't know which would be better. I also have a seam roller. I mean, usually finger pressing, as far as seams go and stuff, usually finger pressing is fine. This is a seam roller, but for getting wrinkles out of the fabric, obviously. But if I can get I can usually get a good finger press. The only problem is now it hurts me to do so. So I need to change my ways. But to do that, I need to fix my desk. And to fix my desk, I need to fix my room. And I was going to have my son is home for the summer, so I was going to have him help me with that. But right now he's being monopolized by my husband. They got a giant collection of vinyl, and they've been doing nothing but loading and unloading it into a storage unit and then to the shows because they sell at shows. So they're gone today. Yep, hands are going, the eyes are going, kids are gone. We have the time, but our body's failing us. Yes, 100%. Like I have all the knowledge and the skill now, but it's like hurts to do anything. I need to. So I made this a little bit too big. The doctor gave me like an all day prescription that I haven't tried. Like Advil will help, but it won't get rid of it totally. I'm probably going to need some kind of an injection or surgery at some point, but um, I'm just trying to get through as long as possible without that because, our money's going to tuition, college tuition, our extra money. So if I can suffer until he's out of college, that would be all right. Or I don't know. I really don't want to deal with surgery. If they could just give me a shot like cortisone or something and get rid of it, that would be fine. I'm going really slow because it's really painful. I had rested my hands for a couple days. I was drawing instead of sewing and stuff and crafting, and yeah, it's just not. There's only so many injections that they can give you before it's unsafe or before it stops working. Unsafe. Oh, really? Hmm. Tell that to those gym bros that are on the steroids all the time. They don't seem to care that they're playing Russian roulette with their health. The other thing I've been seeing online, and I can never remember it, is like a lot of like reels where people are showing you how to turn this so that you don't end up like you turn this over and then you sew like this or something halfway, and then when you turn it back over, I don't know. Instead of folding this over and having an unsightly bulk like that. I wish my thing was focusing on what's here and not the background. You can't see. Like I said, this is just a really cheapo webcam that I have attached. You had a nurse friend that had 3 injections in her elbow and ended up ruining her elbow to the point she cannot be a nurse. Oh my lord, seriously. All right, well, that's something to think about. It's just like, yeah, I mean, as an lifelong artist and craft person, like crafty girl, why then do I have to have bad eyes and bad hands now, right? As I got old. So annoying. Okay. So if I top stitch this down after, so maybe it does need to be thicker. I don't know. Let's look. Will you please stay down so I can measure, so I can see if this is good or not? Do you have to be so difficult? Might be too thin. Maybe I need to cut a strip that's like an inch and a quarter so that it is a 3/4 size. Mm, it is too thin, I think. I mean, damn it. All right, what if it's, this is why I wish there was a pattern because I'm not in the mood to do this today. So yeah, I want this. Yeah, well, I want to cut it. I want it thicker. So what I need to do is I need to cut this. I need to cut another one and cut it. Okay. Fold it on the inside when you fold it. Okay. So I want this part to be 3/4 of an inch with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. At this point, it's going to be wide enough. I might as well just sew 2 strips together and turn it, but then it will be bulky. All right. So this needs to be, okay. So I still need a 1/2 inch for seam allowance on either side. So, uh, caffeine's wearing off, ladies. So it would need to be, let's make a pattern here. And I don't think I need it as long as this, right? So I had this at 8. Maybe if I do 7.5, so it's 7 inches long total. Let's see. I might as well cut this now because I'm not using it. So let's check the length at 7 inches. Okay. Okay, roughly about there. Hey Marna, thanks for stopping by. No worries. I'm so happy I got to see you. I will talk to you later. All right. So yes, I think 7 inches is better, right? Because I would still have, this will be tucked under a 1/4 inch. This will be tucked under a 1/4 inch. But the thing is, then I can't cross the straps, can I? No, I still, because if I don't, he's got such narrow shoulders. If I don't cross the straps, they're probably just going to slip off, right? Why didn't this lady put, Donna, why didn't this lady put this in her book? So if I put it here, I mean, I could sew this down at a 1/4 inch, but I'm going to need more room because I need to put the snap under here. So I think that'll be okay. 7.5. No, I made this 7, didn't I? So it's fine. All right. Let's just go with this. I don't care anymore. I'm getting lightheaded. Um, you just use patterns as starting points. I mean, I draft a lot of things because I enjoy making up my own stuff. But sometimes I just want a pattern. I just want to cut out a pattern sew the pattern and have the damn thing work out. I don't want to fuss, you know? Sometimes I'm just tired and I don't want to fuss. So today is one of those days. I did not get enough sleep and I'm tired and I don't want to fuss, but I have to because I'm making this up as I go along. So what I usually do is I have a stash of, I have a pack of, I do everything on tracing paper, and we'll measure out a pattern here. Because these, like I said, these pants were super freaking, ow. These pants were super, super, it was a good pattern for these dungarees as long as you know what size to pick out of the book, and as long as you um, use a 1/4 inch seam allowance for it. So, all right, here's 7. So I want to do, oopsies, oopsies, oopsies. 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm too much of a perfectionist. And I mean, I like also making my own patterns, but like when you have to like keep doing endless micro adjustments. So like for my own self, it's fine, but like I actually want to offer my patterns to people. Like I want to offer that vest pattern to people and the circle skirt for Elowen. And I have this Ann dress I'm going to give, put up on my website and stuff. And so, but it's like, then you have to be perfect, or at least I have to be perfect. I don't want anybody coming at me and bitching that they're, oh wait, why did I do that? I haven't measured my, ugh, I'm losing it. You're working on making human patterns doll size, things like Lutterlow, a few new looks, simplicity. So how are you, that seems like a lot of work because like you have to first scale it down till it's appropriate sort of scale, and then right, so we want 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch for the seam allowance here, then we want 1, 2, 3 for the width, so that's 3/4 of an inch, and then we want an extra 1/4 inch, and we're going to make cut up 4 of these, right? So here's our seam allowance. Then we want 1, 2, 3, and then our seam allowance. And then our seam allowance. This doesn't seem like it's square down here, but whatever. 1, 2, 3, and then our seam allowance. Wait a minute. You are working on making human patterns doll size, and then I would scale up. Humans scale them up too. Huh. There's like a bunch of historic costumers on and cosplayers on YouTube, and a lot of them have American Girl dolls, or that was like some of their first like exposure and love of historical clothing was getting their American Girl dolls like Felicity or whatever. And and they will like twin with their doll, which I think is like the cutest ever. I would love to do something like that. Um, Having a hard time finding a pattern that fits like I want it to fit as well. Oh, right. So you take the pattern pieces that are on the pattern, like wait a minute now. I had a whole stack of patterns right here. Where did I move them to? Like on the back of the Simplicity or whatever, when you're looking at them online. Oh wait, here's one. Nope, that's not one. I moved all my patterns. Where did I move them to? What the frick? I'm an idiot. Well, I had a whole stack of like Simplicity and crap, and it's gone now. So never mind. And then you just, yeah, on the pattern instructions, on right, and then you scale those up, and then you would then have to make the adjustments for fit and stuff, right? Shauna has been lazy and not made them out of a sheet first, wish they just fit from the beginning. Yeah. My Blythe patterns I've bought seem to always be a bit too big. Okay, Shauna, what are they specifically for Blythe? And what Blythe body are you doing? Are you doing the AliExpress Azon style or are you doing the stock style or both? I mean, most of the patterns that I've found for Blythe are pretty good, but if you're buying British and you're saying you're too big, I was gonna say, it's like if you're buying patterns from like British designers or Japanese designers, whatever, they use metric. So they don't use a quarter of an inch, they use 5 millimeter usually as their default seam allowance. Um, Donna hasn't had any issue. Her Bigamaya, yes, because her body dimensions are different from top. Yeah, freaking. I have a Bigamaya that I got at the dollar at the. I found at the thrift store for $10, and her head is so heavy that it's like dented in the back now. And I'm thinking of cutting off all of her beautiful rainbow hair and getting her a wig or something, and trying to like heat and reshape her head in the back because she can't hold it up, and it's just she looks terrible. Um, all right, so I would. I'm sorry, I'm just like making this pattern piece and I'm going to write down what needs to happen. I'm indicating the quarter-inch seam allowances on it with a dashed line. The patterns are for Blythe, but my bodies are OB22. The clothes do look better on the AliExpress bodies, but not as well on the. So you're using the thinner style OB22 bodies. They're thinner, right? Um, so I mean, uh, before like, so if it was me, I would take the extra step of like, so this is why I use tracing paper, right? So like, I would trace the pattern and not cut it. Uh, or unless I can print it out, which I don't use I have a printer, but I just trace them anyway because getting to my husband has the printer in his office and getting to it and whatever. So anyway, I trace the pattern out. Then I usually do a mock up in some crappy fabric or like scraps. And then what you can do is you can pin it and mark like you put it on inside out so that you like I so that then you can like make adjustments. Um Like, you can see, like, you can pin or draw, like, when you pinch it where the excess fabric is, and then you draw. Then you would take that fabric with the like, sew those marks, and then you would transfer that back to your tracing paper, and then you would say, "This is such and such pattern for Obitsu 22 body." Um, that's how I would do things. It was kinda like when I was making so, like, if I wanted to make a pattern then off of this dress that I was adjusting, right? Because it was so ridiculously large on her, in my opinion. I didn't like it, even on this body. I would put it on. I mean, do you watch My Froggy Stuff? Because she makes all kinds of doll clothes out of like stretch knits where she just puts it a tube, she cuts out and sews a tube, and then she puts it on the doll inside out, and she just pinches the fabric and pins it where so it's gathered to the body, and then she just sews that down. It's sort of like that principle, but you would do it everywhere. And then instead of just having a one off, like this is a one off dress, right? But so if I wanted to turn this into a pattern, I would clone it, I would turn it inside out, and then I would trace the new adjusted whatevers. So I was thinking of getting honestly, to be totally happy with this dress, because I'm an insane perfectionist. Um, yeah. I would buy another one of these and I would deconstruct it, and then I would make the adjustments because these things aren't even on here and it drives me nuts. But because I keep looking at this, it's always on my AliExpress thing, and I keep thinking, oh, I should get another one. In fact, I should get two, make one for Anne, and then make another one where I take this whole thing apart and make a pattern. The reason I would have to take it, well, I guess I wouldn't. So, like to clone this actually doesn't have shoulder sleeves up top. It's folded over. Um, so there's a bunch of Blythe patterns that are simple like that. So, but I feel like it needed the darts at the top. It needed a shoulder seam to fit correctly. So, but because I've sewn in those darts, I could just lay the dress down as flat as possible and where my adjustments are, because I do this too. Like when I was trying to make clothes for Little Mismatched, I was cloning, and I'm still going to do more of that. I took her outfits that she already had, and I like laid them down as flat as possible on a piece of paper, and then I would trace right along the outline of the piece, and so I would only do the front, and then I would turn it over, um, and then, I would do mark the halfway point and trace the back. Figure depends on how, like, complicated. I guess I could open it up and do it that way, but these are pretty similar. You could just for this one, they're probably about the same width, so you would only then just make a second one and cut it down the middle. But you have to add the seam allowance because, the seam allowance is tucked in. So this would just get you the sewing line or what's the finished look is gonna be. You'd have to add the, um thanks, Shauna. Yeah, sewing the patterns with scrap material first. I mean, I don't always. It's annoying because sometimes I trust a pattern and I shouldn't trust a pattern, but like I've watched enough people sewing human size clothes, like with the historical costumers and the cosplayers, enough to know. And a lot of them will say, I really should do a mock up first, but I'm just going to go into it. And almost always they regret it because almost always no pattern will fit, especially a human body, like without tailoring perfectly, right? And we've gotten away from that in our sewing because we buy pre-made clothes at department stores and fast fashion and stuff. And so, um, but yeah, so I could clone. That's what I did with the other AliExpress when Tammy had sent me an AliExpress dress that she didn't like on her doll. I cloned that too, but I haven't actually sewn the pattern. I have it stashed over here. I traced it out and cloned it, but I haven't actually re-sewed it to make sure it works. Because that's the thing what I mean. It's like when you make your own patterns or you do a significant adjustment or alteration to something, and you're gonna have to, really fit test everything. Um, Dungaree, trying to make sure dungaree straps, cut 4. So I'm gonna sew them together. I think they're gonna be a little thick with this corduroy, but I think it'll be easier, honestly, and then I won't have to worry about, um I won't have to zigzag the edges and all that bull crap. So, I mean, I want to do more. I wouldn't mind coming on live and doing more like process videos and like watch me sew alongs and stuff and explain how I'm altering something or explain how I'm designing something or and get advice from people who are watching and show because when I first started sewing, I didn't know anything about sewing. I think I had taken some sewing classes back because I'm old enough that we did home ec. I'm a Gen Xer, so we still had home ec in high school and middle school briefly, and then I think I was one of the last. They got rid of it in the 80s, and I graduated in '89 from high school. So I did take a couple home ec classes to graduate from high school because they were required, and the boys had to take shop. I'm looking for my scissors while I'm stuck here, and so I knew basically how to sew, and then like I used YouTube to teach me more about sewing, first hand sewing, and then do I line sleeves that small? Usually not. Like for Blythe, no, no. I will do the lining sometimes. I mean, it depends on how tight the sleeves are and what fabric I'm using. Um, I almost always only line the bodice and then do not line the sleeves. The only problem with that is I don't like that the messy sleeve seams in the shoulder become are messy. So I usually fray check them because I'm afraid they're going to come apart. But like if you watch, so I, a really good resource on sewing in general is if you watch Designs by Jude's YouTube channel. She designs. I don't know if you have any Tonner dolls, but she sews a lot and releases a lot of patterns for Ellen and Grace and for the virtual doll convention and sells them through her website. And she has YouTube. I learned so much for doll sewing watching her channel because her videos are so detailed and they apply to whatever size doll you're working on, right? But the thing is with hers, she usually uses high end like more high end techniques like with like fully lined skirts and things, zippers. And so I'm still learning. Um, I'm still learning, but, it doesn't matter, like I said, it doesn't matter what size doll, and she does do, like she does have a few 12 scale, 1/6 scale, 12-inch patterns, like, for Poppy Parker and stuff, but, which, you run into the same problems with them as you do with Blythe because 'cause they're 1/6 scale outfits, so, but just watching her videos in general, if you're just learning to sew, just, like, watch as much as you can, watch any and then, like, there's a like, there's Yumi Designs or whatever on, YouTube. Oh, and there was this girl that I was like when I first started getting into Blythe, I lived for her stuff. She's, like, from Korea, and she hand sews everything. Oh, what is her name? I can't remember her name, and sh I haven't seen any videos lately. Maybe she's felt like she's done enough tutorials, but she made so many gorgeous, gorgeous Blythe outfits, and I've sewed in several. Like I learned so much from her videos too, and she hand sews everything. So, um, oh, I wish I could remember her name right now. But if you look at like Blythe sewing tutorials or whatever up on YouTube, you probably would find her. She's an amazing resource because she makes all of her patterns available for free on. Do you know who I'm talking about? Why is my thumb shaking like crazy? She makes all of her patterns available for free on I think it's like Google Drive or whatever. She has an open Google Drive and you can get her download her patterns. Um, I know that Millie Dolly Dame, is that her name now or did she change it? She used to do a bunch of her patterns too. She sewed up for her Blythe. Um, Designs. So Designs by Jude is, yeah, that is the one that she does mostly right now. She's putting out stuff for Smart Doll and 1/4 inch fashion or 1/4 scale fashion dolls like Tonner dolls. She also has um, Smart Doll patterns, and she also has like 12-inch fashion doll patterns. The thing is even if you don't have one of her dolls, just watching her videos will help you understand doll sewing much better. Not Shelley Wood, but she's good too. Oh, she's Korean, this girl. Let me go on to you. Let me see. Hold on a second. Um let me go on to YouTube really quick and do a quick search. Blythe doll sewing patterns. I have several of her patterns. I mean, Beth is really good. The Dainty Seamstress, Yumi Studio, those are all good. Why isn't she coming up faster? She's got tons and tons and tons of free downloads and how to sew videos. Okay, what I'm gonna have to do, Shelley Wood is good, but she doesn't have anything really Blythe specific. I'm gonna have to open up a new. Oh wait, no, I don't need to. Let me get into my Finder window, and I'll just look at one of the patterns I have downloaded, and I'll be able to figure out who it is. I think if she's got her name on it. Let's see. So you can't see, but I can see. Let's see. Downloaded. Okay, we gotta do the name. Is this in documents? Ugh. Downloaded or no, it would be under purchased doll patterns. Let me see. Okay. I have like terrible organization, as you can imagine, on my computers as well as my room purchased doll patterns. All right. Now, let me look into my Blythe folder and let's view it by gallery so I can see if I can find her. Um, Hannon Peasant Blouth for dress. Wait, is that it? No, that's something else. Okay, hold on. Nope, that's somebody else. I have so many Blythe patterns, it's not even funny. Tiny Pearl. Nope, 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 nope. Is it this here? Pin tuck dress. This is it, but why doesn't it say she doesn't have her name on it? This is one of hers. Oh, now this is gonna drive me crazy. Okay, so for lining, I always now I'm gonna keep scrolling till I find something of hers. A lot of people who okay, so a lot of people who do 12-inch sewing stuff, um, 12-inch doll clothes, they will use um, what's that stuff? We use dryer sheets. That's really a good one. I don't do my laundry in the house anymore. We send it out because our laundry machine and whatever our situation, we don't have a working laundry machine and dryer right now. So and I can't be bothered to do it myself inside of a thing. So I did that for years and I'm not okay with that anymore. So using used dryer sheets, that's a really good way to do linings for 1/12 scale dolls without having any bulk. And then I always then also using tulle is also good. And I usually use a really lightweight cotton now, like wool. Um, it's a really lightweight, uh, or what's the other word? What is the other voile? So VOILE, or lawn, like your grass. Yes, organza works. Um, you can get lining fabric that is like just as um hold on a second. Here's Millie Dolly Dame, and she has. I'm gonna go to her videos because I know she's sewn some of this woman's stuff before. Let me see if I does she have her stuff organized by playlists? Um, Unboxing dolls, Happy Meal. All right, nope. Let's see. Um, because we talked about it one time. She showed me how she had it's gonna be years ago though. She maybe she doesn't have anything on there. Anyway, if you get a lining fabric that's specifically for lining fabric, um, sometimes the thing is Mirisuru. Okay, is that it? Mirisuru? Let me look. Mirisuru. Ba, 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 ba. Mirisuru. Oh, I have to get out of Dolly Dane's thing here. Um, no. But I think she's Korean though. So why am I just getting shorts? I don't want shorts videos. Did I spell that right? Suru, not Suri. Maybe she doesn't have her YouTube channel anymore. Um, but I keep like killing myself. If you use something that specifically has a lining, a lot of times it's not cotton. It's it's like a rayon or it's some kind of it's some kind of polyfiber. And I don't necessarily have a problem with that, but it's so much easier to sew. Um, it's so much easier to sew for me, and I'm still like not happy with my sewing machine, which is over here. No, it's fine. It's fine that you distract me. Um, I have a hard time with thin and slippery fabrics and stretch knits on my sewing machine, and so I could sew things like that by hand, but now my hands hurt. So, um, Blythe pattern. I wonder if she's gone. Her stuff was so great, and her videos were so good. Um, anyway, if you look up, there's tons. There's just tons and tons of like patterns and videos to help Um, yeah, I wonder if she's gone now off of off of YouTube. This is gonna drive me crazy, you guys. Like, after I get off of here, I'm gonna have to find her now and see if she's still on here or what happened, because she really helped me when I was first starting to sew for dolls. Um, the first thing I started sewing was rag dolls and, like, making it, and then it was all by hand, and then I tried to start then I had to teach myself how to sew with a machine, and so, yeah, but Yumi Studio, she sells her patterns and she has, like, video, um I don't know if Beth Ramsden has anything for the slender bodies, because I remember seeing a video of hers where she was making Blythe Christmas dress from free online pattern. Okay, that was me, and that is a Resin and Rapture video. That's a Resin and Rapture pattern. So that's not hers. Okay. Um, anyway, Beth Ramsden, I remember, was bodying a doll on a like skinnier, small busted body, and it probably was the OB, whatever one you have. So, is your doll a custom Blythe? Is that why it's um Kimi Studio? Wow, this is killing me, guys. All right, I am like stuck on an ADHD rabbit hole. I am so sorry. I gotta get off that. No, you didn't distract me. I got like hyper focused. I'm a quilter and have been trying to use cute quilting fabrics for lining. Yes, that is one of the problems, 100%. Um, you don't need to go out and buy special lining fabric, but at doll scale, at 12-inch doll scale, it does create a lot of bulk. And so, therefore, yes, you might. I have switched because I used to use whatever cotton I had lying around, and I still prefer sewing with cotton. But like I said, I use voile, and I don't know. I was started with lawn. No, or am I using lawn? I don't remember which one. I either use cotton voile or cotton lawn, and it's a really nice lightweight fabric. It's almost sheer. It's not sheer, but it's like almost sheer. Here, if I have some of it around. That's just quilted cotton. I'm trying to look in my pile of scraps over here to see if I have anything. They don't. I think I cleaned up all my scraps recently, and so it's like actually been put away. Um, so yes, that's what I would recommend. Or again, dryer sheets. Once you've been, those are really good. There's a lot of Barbie sewers who use those. Um, and I also do use tulle. So, but if I'm worried about staining or something, I won't use tulle because I'm a little concerned about bleed through. But now this, I had actually, I'm wondering what to do with this because it's too tight on him and too short, and too tight. But I did fray check all the edges. I don't know if it's worth bothering saving for. You're welcome. Just do, like I said, just put in Blythe patterns, and I mean, some of them will be free, um, some of them will be free, some of them will be obviously paid for patterns. But a lot of people have, even if they're paid for patterns, a lot of people have their instructions as videos, and you just learn a lot by just like consuming the videos and learning. So this one, no, that scrap is not. I'm just trying to, and then I have this. So see, even though I had a pattern, I've made three now, three pairs of overalls, two of which are no good. So I don't know if I should like salvage that or just chuck them. I have so much crap. Sometimes I think it's just not worth it. Um, but I could probably I could get a Blythe vest out of this probably. So would I, or shirt or something. So, or shorts. So I shouldn't. Um, yeah, that'd be great, Shauna. Sometime I'd be happy. I mean, so many people were so generous to me when I was first like learning how to sew and stuff. So, but yeah. So now I have to find some scrappies. Now the question is, because this has a grain, so it goes this way with the lines going up and down. It doesn't need to be stretchy. So I'm actually wondering if it would be cuter if I made the grain of the straps horizontal. Um, Looks like my shopper is still shopping. They're about halfway done before I have to rescue my dogs from their crate of doom. They're sitting in here. Yeah, I know you guys. But if I let you out, what's going to happen? Ladybug is going to hear something that she doesn't like, and she's going to knock down the gate downstairs, and she's going to hide in the bathroom or eat the cat crap out of the litter box or do something naughty. And because I can't run up and down the stairs and nobody else is home, you have to stay in there because you've already tried to bust through the gate once today. I can't. So, ugh, she's an elderly dog, and she's getting. I think she's losing her goddamn mind. Is what I think is going on there. But so did you guys see me cut out that strap pattern? What do you think I did with it? I don't know. I probably just put it in this pile of crap that I was looking through to clean up, and then I put it away. Here's one of the offshoots of it. So where's the actual pattern itself now? Oh my god, this is why I can't get anything done. I'm an absolute menace to myself. Freaking menace. Yeah, so I'll probably here we go. You saw me clean it up, but didn't see. I've got it now. So so I need to cut 4 of these out. So I will, yeah, I'll just do this. So anyway, I'll probably log off soon, but I was really nice having somebody since I'm home alone right now. It was lovely chatting with you ladies and talking doll stuff. And you're listening while you work. Yeah, you got that big marathon. That's awesome. Um, yeah, I'm gonna log off in a little bit here, and I'm not gonna run the sewing machine. I don't think I'll just cut this out, and then it's like I said, they're gonna be done shopping soon. And then, do you guys have any big plans for tomorrow? Since it's the holiday, which I had totally forgotten was a thing until my husband reminded me, and I was like, "What? Am I gonna be able to get 2 of these out of here? I don't know. Not on the fold, maybe." All right, it's all right if I don't. I'm just gonna sew one anyway to begin with. So I like to trace my stuff out instead of because I use this thin tracing paper. I don't like to put holes in it um, until I'm sure I'm happy with the design or whatever. Yearly family picnic at the cemetery. Do you guys go? Is it like where your loved ones are buried, or is it just a random a random open cemetery, or is it one where you guys get to go and actually have a memorial to your loved ones? Um, does sound nice and relaxing. We're not doing anything. I think my husband and my son will be recovering from their business trip today. So it's not going to be family plot. Oh, wow. My family is scattered all over the country. So, and I am in Indiana, and my closest um, buried relatives are in New Jersey. So that won't any other yeah, so that won't work for me. So we can't do something as like nice like that where the whole family gets together. All right, I think is this stretched out funny or something on my marking? It doesn't seem like it's correct. Like what am I trying to say? It doesn't seem like the measurement is equal. Yeah, I guess it is. I just can't. All right. So when I trace something like this and um I now usually try to pin it so the 2 fabrics stay lined up and they don't shift around on me because, I'm a perfectionist. And it still isn't perfect and I still get mad, but so I'll just pin strategically so that the fabric, like I said, stays roughly in place when I am cutting. Since I don't pin through my pattern piece. If I was like printing the patterns out on my printer, I probably would do that, but I don't know. Um, Yeah, because then I could then just recycle when I'm done, but I try to save, you know, I try to save the tracing paper and keep it. I have like boxes of different patterns. So, and I should be cutting this on the table, but I'm not. So there you go. So what I'll do is you trace, Shauna, you trace all your patterns? Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people will just pin the pattern right down on it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that like, especially if it's like a pattern from a paid pattern on the pattern paper, that's really thin too. And I don't like ripping that up either. So I usually don't cut them. Usually, sometimes I get lazy and I do, but I usually don't cut them. I usually trace so that I always have an uncut. You draw your patterns out onto a medium weight embroidery stabilizer. Donna does. So then they're sturdier than regular tracing paper or paper, right? And they probably don't slip around on the fabric or have the scan and cut draw them for me. Oh yeah, see, there's like all kinds of cool sewing gadgets now. That's a really good idea. Um, so I'm just gonna sew. So I'll just need to sew around the. Okay, I can keep it on the fold. Oh, so then I need to cut. So I need to indicate the fold then, don't I? Well, no, because then I still need to cut. No, I don't because I didn't include the fold. So I have to sew all four. Okay. Okay. I'm not cutting this on the fold. So cut four. So what I need to do is I didn't count for the fold. So I got to cut this like this. Yes, yes, yes. And then this way, if you don't, you can use scraps if you don't have something big enough to do the fold. So I'll need to sew all the way around, but leave it like a gap for turning. Used to embroider a bunch. I have a 5 foot tall roll that is about, Jesus, that's a lot. I love embroidery. Were you doing it by hand or by machine? I love hand embroidering, but again, can't do much by hand anymore. I would love to be able to afford an embroidery machine and like make my own, embroider my own fabrics and stuff for like, especially if I was doing historical doll clothes and stuff. That would be so cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out. I won't cut out the other one now um, because I want to make sure one of these works. You digitized for a while. That's cool. Did you sell it? Then I'll turn it inside out, and then I have to. If that works, the only other thing I need to do is to find some bias tape or something that I'm going to use some scrap fabric to turn my edges with. Oh, you had a whole business. Wow. Donna, you like sound like you're the guru. You know how to do everything, man. So I think I'm going to end it here. I've been on for almost 2 hours. I am going to look for my bias tape, and nobody wants to sit through that as I'm rummaging through my stuff off camera. So I said, you are a guru of knowledge about all things sewing and crafting and quilting and stuff, aren't you? It's amazing. Um, so yes, so I'm going to sign off so I can go look for my bias tape. And I might be online. Since this setup works, I'm probably going to. I used to come online fairly regularly, and but I don't announce it. I just show up. So if you guys happen to be on YouTube anyway and you see me that I'm live, it would be sweet if you could stop in and see what I'm up to. And I really appreciate you guys coming in and like keeping me company today. So I hope you have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, and I will see you guys in your videos real soon. All right. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.